Show. I'm in Life in a Marital Institution. The subtitle is 20 Years of Monogamy in One Terrifying Hour. It's actually 65 minutes, but why split hairs? It's at the Long Center for the Performing Arts this entire week, Tuesday through Sunday, 7 performances. It's on tour, started off Broadway. It actually premiered, the world premiere was in Edinburgh, the Fringe Festival. You may or may not know about the Fringe Festival. It's the largest arts festival in the world. It's hard to comprehend what that means, right? 2,500 shows. What that means is 2,500 shows in 4 weeks. What that means is when you wake up in the morning, the entire route from your apartment to the theater has been wheat pasted over and replaced with brand new advertisements for another 100 shows that you didn't see yesterday. So it fills you with ennui by the time you get to your theater, because you know you'll never get to see them all. And it's an experience of kind of saddening mortality every day. But I was up by the time I went on stage and I performed my show there. Came to New York, off Broadway, sold out at 59 theaters, which is a fabulous theater complex built by the eldest daughter of a real estate magnate who discovered that being in theater was a lot more fun than being in real estate. And then it moved to off-Broadway, to the Soho Playhouse. And it played there for a couple of months, 3 or 4 months, I can't remember, and then we went on tour to, among other places, Philadelphia and Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and Florida, Austin, Texas, and that's the short story. Now, as for what I'm going to be doing after the show, I'm going to have lunch with Shannon Bogus of Hookem Marketing. Now that little ambient sound that you heard was an audio cue card. And I don't know where we're going to go to lunch. What else can I tell you about the show? It's very dark. It's very funny. It's a little bit like, well, actually a lot like relationships, like my relationship. If you like dark and funny relationships, or if you find that you have been in a dark and funny relationship. For example, if you were married to a marriage counselor, you may have had a dark and humorous marriage. Not, well, probably in that order. You don't realize it's humorous until after you get out of the darkness. What else can I tell you? Why should you see this show? Well, you should see this show because of my basic compact with the audience. My basic compact is that it must be entertaining, right? That's the price of admission. I learned that lesson from Shakespeare, not personally, but through the ages, and then again from the Beatles. My two hero entertainers, although the Beatles were kind of a hero organism. And I think of them as both entertainers, both Shakespeare and the Beatles, because in the case of Shakespeare, you didn't get to the Queen unless it made the groundlings laugh, right? That's how it worked. You got the people who paid a penny to get in, and if they don't think it's funny, then the laugh does not reverberate in the globe up to the Queen, and it's not funny, and it doesn't work, right? It's an entertainment. And then it's something more. And the Beatles are the same way. They started out 17, 18, 19 years old, Hamburg, the Star Club, drunken, wife beaters out there who they had to actually neutralize with their music and settle them down and rev them up, and they did that as 17, 18, 19-year-old guys, right? Total first quality entertainers. And then they moved on from there, which is why in a song like Revolution, you don't hear these kinds of songs today, and it's probably not happening at the Occupy Wall Street movement. If you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you ain't going to make it with anyone anyhow. That's funny. And it's a protest song. So this is my little parenthetical note to the Occupy Wall Street people. Make it funny. Which isn't to say that you should not occupy Wall Street, but just occupy it humorously. What else? Don't try this at home. This is a high degree of difficulty, and I'll talk about a couple of other aspects of the show. It's on a national tour. It's being presented by Meredith Vieira Productions, produced and presented by them. The show here in Austin is presented by the Long Center, but Meredith Vieira Productions is producing the tour. They've also optioned the screenplay and the television and film rights, so we're developing it on parallel tracks as a movie and a television series, which is pretty cool. And then it's coming out as a book from St. Martin's Press. which will be out next year, assuming that I revise it in time to make the calendar next year, which I believe I will be able to do. And you can hear excerpts of the show on This American Life, which is on public radio stations around the country, and also The Moth, which you may or may not know about here. It's the second or third most downloaded podcast under the story segment. It's a fairly narrow band of demographic band, but if you like stories, then you'll like The Moth. And This American Life is a great storytelling delivery platform. And what else can I share about the show? Why should you come? Well, you should come because it's fun. It's genuinely fun, and it's different people respond in different ways. That's actually been one very fascinating aspect of the tour. When you perform in New York votes Democratic. Most of the people who are coming into the show are sort of relatively liberal. They look at a story about a guy and a crazy marriage, and they think either I've been there or I know him, and they walk out relieved. So that's the function that it serves on the part of the audience. They think that their relationship was maybe bad, but they know that it's actually okay by comparison, and they're laughing in recognition. Versus Crested Butte, for example. I was in Crested Butte a couple weeks ago, Rocky Mountains. There's a Texas, Colorado Rocky Mountain axis, which you may or may not be familiar with. Lots of Texans like to go up there on vacation, and many of those Texans happen to be Republican. And the lights go up, and there they are, visibly Republican, laughing. And because I'm in Crested Butte, it's a small town, they're able to walk up to me after the show and say they like it. And I said, why? I'm really interested to know why. And they said, because you make fun of the left.